Okay, so we had two new sweet black 2-mana cards. Painful Bond here, draw 2 cards at instant speed for 3 mana. You're going to lose some amount of life down the line afterwards. And then Undercity Plunder, basically Mind Rot-esque, but if your opponent doesn't have 2 cards to discard, or if they don't want to discard 2 cards, you get to draw a card out of their deck. This deck is also playing another new card in Molten Impact here. So this has a delayed trigger on it, deals 4 to a creature or planeswalker, and then the excess damage that would go past killing that thing gets dealt to something else the next time you cast an instant or sorcery spell. So for example, if you Molten Impact a 3/2, then you'll have a shock left over the next time you cast an instant or sorcery spell. Sedgemoor Witch is kind of the big payoff for all of these instants and sorceries. However, we also have Ashmouth Dragon / Smoldering Egg here. This card in particular works really well with specifically Inscription of Rune. So Inscription can not only bring this back from the graveyard if it dies, but you can kick Inscription to fully flip Smoldering Egg in one go, because it cares about mana spent, not explicitly just the mana value, which is great. And then a couple of people commenting in chat, yeah, Citystalker Connoisseur, definitely the best mid-range card in this format. It's a creature with Death Touch in the creature matchups. It takes something out of their hand in the control matchups. It provides a little bit of hand smoothing with the blood token. It really, really just does it all. So let's go ahead and pop on into some matches with this Sedgemoor Witch deck and see how it goes. Yeah, Painful Bonds looked really impressive every time our opponents have cast it. I see some folks in chat talking about the Pokemon TCG. They have multiple formats in that game similar to Magic, like rotating and non-rotating. Does anybody know, does their new client, is it only going to be their like standard equivalent, or is there going to be multiple formats on a net release? Live is standard only currently. Okay. So they're going to do something similar to Arena where they start small, then probably backfill. This is match 1, game 1 with this deck, Wargy. That is probably one of the worst Painful Bonds we're gonna cast today, I imagine. Hitting 4 cards with it is a lot. They discarded an island and then missed their 3rd land drop. Is interesting. Oh, they already have 6 years worth of cards in their application. That's a good bit. The blue-white deck was very good, Wargy. It was reasonable through the end. Someone asked, what's the snow payoff in blue? The, what's it called style card? The, you pay mana to pump it up into a 4/4 and then it gets 1/1 counters and draw cards? Yeah, Ascended Spirit. That's the one. Delvery do. Our cards are purple because they've been perpetually modified by Painful Bond. They hurt, chat. They hurt. Eight. How lucky are they? See, chat, your opponent's Delvers always flip the turn they play them, and your Delvers never do. For those that aren't familiar with this system. Yeah, just post a Shatterskull there, actually. Okay, down to 9. I mean, I have Pesting in life. It's also like, I definitely think you're super biased by this game because like we drew honestly some of the worst possible, right? Like we needed to cast it. We had to cast it early because not only were we missing our third land drop, but in addition to missing our third land drop, we also just like had a bunch of 3s and 4s in our hand. Our deck that doesn't have a lot of 3s and 4s. This is their payoff, by the way. We're dead to a Delver flip here, unfortunately. Sometimes lucky. I completely disagree with the assessment that 12 3+ cost cards is too many. We're literally in like a worst case scenario situation this game where it cost us 4 life and like it's actually just fine. This was even a game where I know their Delver didn't flip in those later turns, but like they literally flipped their Delver turn 1 the first time, right? So they were a little bit unfortunate later, but they were pretty fortunate early. Chat, Sedgemoor Witch is a menace to the people wondering why my opponent died there. Bring me pictures of Sedgemoor Witch. She's a menace. think it's Undercity Plunder out. I just want to have as many cards as possible play to the board. Just all Doom Blades on deck. That says, I wonder if cutting these is going too low on threats. We want a couple of Lolths in our deck. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, so that time, once is a fluke, twice is worrisome. For that drop off, for that drop off, only my Twitch disconnected. I've changed Injust servers this time. Last time my arena disconnected too. This time it did not. Well, at least their Delver is doing as Delver does this game. Oh, wait, Mama always said Delver is as Delver does, chat. Looking at the opponent's board, I just can't imagine playing this in a Meathook world. Yeah. We lead on this. And this is the other thing about, you know, having a lot of 3+ cost things in your deck, chat. You can sequence around how you play these by playing out your 3 and 4+ cost things in advance a lot of the time. Yeah, Painful Bond is super strong. So opponent definitely messed this up a little bit. They should have made this a 2-3 and attacked with both, because then I couldn't block either of these with my 4-4. But now, because they made this one a 4-4 in advance, I get to go ahead and pull the trigger on it here. They're mono blues. This game should be done at this point. They don't have any reach to jump up and get me.
My children children drench their hands in the blood of my enemies.
Drench their hands in the blood of my enemies. Painful Bond will have a large factor in Luris eventually getting fake banned in Historic. Yeah. Honestly, Andrew, I think they should just, like, delete the companion text from Luris. Just, like, let it be a card you can play in your deck. Yeah. He's like, leave the card as is and just make it so it can't be a companion. Tezzeret Pile? Why would you want someone to talk you out of playing bad Tezzeret Pile? It's really weird to me that MTG Melee for their upcoming tournaments, maybe I'll have to pass this feedback to them. It's really weird to me that MTG Melee for their upcoming tournaments is just a bunch of SCG stuff listed. I went to search on their main page for our event. I feel like in-person events should be a different checkbox. I feel like most people visiting their site are probably looking for at-home stuff, right? I guess maybe that's not the case. Maybe there's enough people at in-person things. I wonder what their metrics look like for that. If they have more people looking for in-person versus not. Yeah, look at this. Look at this, chat. Just good, honest Magic the Gathering players. 2-for-1ing each other the way the good Lord Richard Garfield intended. Ah, it's tapped. Sedge. We get untapped land there. We'd get to plunder them this turn as well and then have blockers for Blade of the Oni. Would have been real good. Hoping to dodge another Mind Rot from them, but even in the event that they have another discard 2 here, we do have Painful Bond on top, so not a terrible spot either way. Paid 5 life and vanquished my Dorko. I think we're far enough behind in this race that I'm going to chill on this, especially with other Painful Bond in hand. Yes, multiple bonds will stack. It's an Undercity Plunder angle. We'll go tapped land. And the next turn we can Witch Molten Impact this. Oh, maybe they do have us on their front page. I was looking under upcoming tournaments, Dave Veer, and their upcoming tournaments list was mostly paper stuff for SCGCon this weekend. Part of me wants to fire up Den of the Bugbear this term when they don't have Field of Runa, but I also want to just get her into play before they can mind drop me. Oh, our opponent is also a rather cultured individual. Kind of like the monocolored version of our deck. Dig it. I'm gonna take this trade here. It's fine for us. Both of us being +1 favors us currently. Yeah, Christy thinks we should ask you what I want for lunch, but that sounds like a terrible idea, I told her. So we're doing this, and then we're killing their Sedgemoor Witch. Actually, I want to target this, I think. Because if I kill this with this, I won't get the overflow on it next time. Chat says Portillo's or Chipotle. I can go through those.
They also said Arby's.
Arby's doesn't have anything I eat, chat. I'm a vegetable-tarian. Arby's is all meaty things. Ooh, milkshakes. That's a pretty good suggestion.
Steak and Shake? Steak and Shake have anything you eat? No, they don't have veggie burgers.
Probably have a veggie sandwich of some sort. Arby's doesn't have food anyone should eat. Oh, I did actually like the seasonal shake from Portillo's.
I'm gonna say it. Portillo's is garbage.
Wow! Wow! Why would you do that to my potential future sponsor? Wow! Okay, I'm gonna have to escort her off the stream. All right, she's gotta go.
No, listen, chat.
You're gonna put you into witness protection after today.
Listen, I love Portillo's in Chicago. It tastes different here, and it's not good.
This is literally the first and last time I'll agree with Christy on food. Wow, yeah, what a brand risk. Aid to favorite Venusaur for all future matches, something like that. Jeez. We're just making tokens with this one, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they get like a different supplier or something, but it is, and I've had multiple people who are familiar with Chicago locations and here say that this is significantly worse than Chicago. I love it in Chicago. I do not know what it is.
The tokens have haste? That can't be true. Holy crap, chat, the tokens have haste. The more you know.
Should I put chat into a giant uproar?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, no, leave chat alone.
Chat, I love White Castle.
Oh, White Castle's great.
Love it.
Dear White Castle, I would tell you to sponsor my stream, but your restaurants don't exist here.
But you could bring one here.
You can totally bring one here. That's just gross. Wow, chat, White Castle is fine. Oh no. Oh no, chat, they're about to learn our secret. We don't actually have a third basic land. Yikes.
White Castle is delicious.
All right, so we definitely want extra threats in an attrition matchup like this, so Lolth sounds good. Meathook to be able to clean up after, in case their witch pops off, sounds good. The random drains are probably excellent too. What do I want to cut here? I kind of like most of our deck. It's probably Inscription out.
Either love White Castle or you hate it. There's no in between.
Americans survive solely on fast food and Uber Eats. Hey, now, those are the same thing.
I mean, I'm a fan of buffets in the before times.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go to a buffet again at post-COVID. Sounds not great. Flat Top used to be one of our favorite places to eat. They unsurprisingly did not make it through the Flat Top in town where we live.
I think they closed before the pandemic.
No, they were definitely post-COVID. Alright, chat, educate me. What is poutine? What is that? What does that mean?
Gravy of French fries or potato chips.
It's fries with cheese and gravy. Let's attack with our witchy poo and see where we end up at. Want them to make a decision on this before we play our card for the turn. It's a heart attack.
Canada also has powdered ketchup.
It's a gift to humans. Cheese curds. Okay. Well, you're about 5 minutes away from...
Vegetable chicken nuggets? They still
Uh...
have them? No. Okay.
Bikes?
No.
Potbelly.
McAllister's.
Deal.
What do you want?
Potato. Potato.
Just a potato.
Yep. Alright, I think with the 5th land drawn, we go Sedgemoor into Plunder here. There could be merit to getting this down before they're empty-handed, though. Woo! Papi! When they don't want to discard their second card, so you draw a Mind Rat. What's taters? Potatoes, potatoes. Alright, sweet. And they still have a card left in their hand. So we'll get to grab it with this. The discarding will continue until morale improves. Yeah, basically. What's their foretell card here? They're just like a poison the cup? I think they just valued Gremmeldin getting cards out of their hand. Because, like, the things in the foretell zone are safe from being shredded, theoretically, right?
You could have such power, but you are subservience will be rewarded.
Invoke Despair. Sedge.
We will slay our enemies.
Rats, they drew a land. Oh no, chat! Wow, that's unlucky. We actually just drew both of our basic lands this game. Just getting rid of that. These Field of Runes are gonna wreck us. Maybe I'm supposed to Electrostatic Blast so I can then Undercity. Yeah, I think I messed this up. I should have held on to the Undercity to Electrostatic Blast, then use this to trigger the draw on this, I think. They double bottom there. That's good for us. So they can actually just put us down 2 lands here if they want. They did not want. Just try and put them on a 2-turn clock. They have the blood on the snow, so I'll get rid of their Lolth here. Blood on the snow now. Do 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 do. You are very dead now. The Gutboards were fine on a couple occasions. I definitely wouldn't play 4, but like two probably would be okay. Our opponent must watch Twitch chat. They're just killing some lands on their way out the door. You can always find all of the decks we've played Anaphylactic on the YouTube channel. Every video description has a deck list in it. All right, we're nowhere near done with this red black deck. We're gonna play for another hour or more, but I'm running to the restroom really quick. BRB. Hey, Brett. Boracoli. I'm just calling you Beef. Thanks for the sub gift, Beef. All right, just out of curiosity, I'm not going to remember it. How do you phonetically say the first word in your username, Beef? Someone spell it out for me. The benefit of 4 gut boards is you have extra cards you don't mind discarding to gut board. Yeah, exactly. By the way, chat, we'll be plugging this all weekend tomorrow at the Open as well. But if you are someone that's going to be picking up paper copies of new Capenna cards, if you order from Cool Stuff Inc. on pre-order, you can get a Jeff Hoagland themed vampire token. Has default stats for the new Saurian Planeswalker, but obviously you can use them for whatever you want. They turned out great. It's a term for Puerto Ricans in America. Borequa. Borequa beef? Did I do that right? Borequa. I think the line over the E makes it an eh. Language. Eh. Borequa. Is there a minimum dollar amount needed to get the token? No, it should just be any singles or sealed product that are new Capenna that you pre-order. Oh, it's Borequa? Yeah, links are enabled. I'm gonna keep this on the play. On the draw, you should probably mulligan this hand, but I think that's on the play is fine. Poker face, poker face, my. Inscriptions over Haunted Ridge is full. Extra pair of Forsaken Crossroads just in case. Let's get ready to plunder. I'm gonna bottom the second plunder here because we theoretically have a bunch of mind rots already. I guess if I would have kept the second one, we could have gone inscription into double plunder on 4. Maybe that's correct. I'm gonna go ahead and tear through their hand here, I think. Let's do it, Avian. I'm probably gonna be starting in about an hour or a little after that, sometime between 2 and 2:30. The Foretell deck was really sweet. I liked it a lot. Oh, you know what? Did I put Artifact Destruction in our sideboard? I didn't. I have no way to destroy an anvil in my 75, which is obviously a huge mistake. Maybe they have 1 week in Mara? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know that I can beat this card. Definitely an oversight in deck building. Yeah, having a Duraludon that understands the game on your team is a big leg up right now, Ruth. For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna take a mulligan on this matchup, but I'm gonna adjust our deck to have counterplay here. Yeah, I think I want 4 shatters in my 75. Abrade's the choice, right? You should splash white for Divine Purge? Maybe. Well, K-Command, this is Alchemy, not Historic. K-Command's not legal here. I'll put 3 Abrades on the board. Start there. If you're familiar with Cinderace beef, playing Duraludon will be very familiar. It plays out in a pretty similar manner. A little bit less mobile, a little bit more damage. I think Plunder will be playable in Historic. Yeah, definitely. Card's super good. I'm just not super interested in brewing an Historic personally at the moment. But if you're interested, it's a card that Painful Bond's probably historic playable too. Five here, unfortunately. Okay, we got some solid card advantage to make up for our mulligan here, potentially. All three of these are potentially 2-for-1s, right? Depending on how the game plays out. Yes, Painful Bond is 100% an auto include in Laris decks. Not close. Molten Impact this. So we have 3 damage the next time we, Painful Bond's the draw 2 our deck is playing. 3 extra damage next time we play an instant or sorcery. So I actually need to not plunder here because of the Molten Impact trigger, because I need this Molten Impact damage to like clear a Town Razor Tyrant here if they draw their 4th land. Kind of hoping they make a dragon play here so we can like blast, clear the dragon, and then have Undercity Plunder for next turn. Yes, this works out well. We get to do this. And then next turn, I get to plunder and trigger the leftover text on Electrostatic Blast to draw one of our top 3 cards as well, which is great. Yeah, like, and I get to plunder them again here. So they're going to be down a minimum of 2 cards. This deck gets to play all the sweet digital designs. They just discarded an adult gold dragon and a Town Razor Tyrant, so their last card is also a dragon then, right? It's gotta be. Probably another Town Razor. I just offer a trade here, I think. It's not a second historic queue, Andrew. It is a paper non-rotating format. I assume it's going to be kind of a Pioneer placeholder until they get all of Pioneer on the platform. It's basically what they're going to be aiming for to do with it. I think it's a very, very good addition to the platform. All right. right, that land's not only a threat for us, but it's also a 6th piece of mana, so Shatterskull Smashing can kill 4 toughness things. Pre-Alchemy Historic. I mean, kinda. Yeah, there's no historic anthologies, there's no Strixhaven archives. We also never really got to play historic with like Kaladesh and stuff for very long without those other things. Sweet. We found something to do with this Divine Purge that's otherwise worthless. Let's just do this now, actually. Yeah, I agree with that. Historic is definitely a higher power level than Pioneer. The new rotating format queue will definitely be a lower power level non-rotating format queue, which is a good thing overall. And hey, look at that, chat. My Painful Bond was a draw 2 with no drawback for 2 mana. Pretty good. That adult Gold Dragon turn, though, firmly swung this race in their favor. They topped a card. That's scary. Edge. Really want to draw our last Shatterskull Smashing or a what's it called? Or our Inscription, so we can flip these over. Otherwise we're dead. D-E-D dead shit. Yeah, based on how they've managed Historic so far, I don't really have particularly high expectations for them addressing the issues with all the control decks in that format at the moment. So I'm legitimately kind of looking forward to a non-rotating format that's a little bit lower power level on this platform. Electrostatic Connoisseur bringing in these as extra threats. They don't really have things that these block profitably. Yes, Winota is legal in Pioneer. She's a format staple, is my understanding. Is Nexus of Fate Pioneer legal? Is it a Wilderness Reclamation format? I know Omnath is legal in C's play, but that one doesn't really bother me. It hasn't had a formal announcement yet, Cenotaph. They just said within the next month or 2 on yesterday's stream it will be coming. So we don't have any firm details other than like a loose 60-day timeline. Reclamation and Nexus are banned in Pioneer, and so is 3 mana Teferi. Perfect. Format sounds fine. And Winota's legal? This sounds excellent. Get ready to plunder, fam. Clearly, Winota only remains legal in Pioneer because Arena players haven't had a chance to play it yet. I mean, to be fair, the fact that Pioneer is Magic Online only means that there's a ton of Magic players that haven't touched it yet, right? Like, the Magic Online player base is pretty small. Like, we kind of complain about queue times a good bit on Magic Arena, but you should know that, like, Magic Online couldn't even support 2 leagues for their formats. And again, just kind of a sequencing thing / comment with cards like Painful Bond. Here, I'm going to get to sequence my bigger spells before the Painful Bond. So Painful Bond is less painful when you have sequencing decisions. I'm chilling for now. I'm also just gonna take 2. Nah, I'm gonna sacrifice this actually. I need 5 mana next turn, I think. AJZ, thank you for the over a year of support. I really appreciate the prime. Welcome back. Yeah, the end step sack was a really good change to Town Razor Tyrant. Really feel like they hit the sweet spot in terms of power level with this card, in terms of it being playable, but not being overbearing. And again, like, that's the power of a digital format, right? Like, they don't just have to get everything right the first time. They can iterate and tune and test. I always love when I see, like, a Moto player defending Magic Online's economy by talking about how much profit they've made. It feels to me it's like a shark leaving out minnow bait for others to find. They're just like trying to lure more fish into their ocean to slaughter them. Just like... It's like, yeah, you're definitely right that if you're at the very top of the food chain, you can make money playing Magic Online. But that's just the people at the top of the food chain, and for most people playing the application, it is an endless money pit, just like Magic Arena. Chumming the waters is a technical term, yep. And I've talked about this before, you know, when I was streaming a ton of Moto, especially back during grad school, I would cash out anywhere from $100 to $400 a month just playing Magic Online, because the leagues on Magic Online are basically online gambling. You put $10 in to play, and then you win things that you can resell for real world money if you're good. If you're not good, it just costs you $10 every time you want to play a league.
My will cannot be denied.
Double Electrostatic Blast actually sounds great, right? We'll go like blast you. Clear the Dargon out. Draw some extra cards. They are getting close to dead. Yeah, our board is very menacing. These Electrostatic Blasts could technically go to the dome as well. I'll play defense here. We're definitely positioned with enough card advantage to going long is okay. We could be more aggressive. I don't think there's any reason to really risk it.
And a gift in exchange for loyalty.
Yes, yeah, there are a lot of people from countries where the US dollar is worth significantly more than theirs, where grinding Moto is good because, you know, they have a lower cost of living there. Like, make a very reasonable living doing that. Alright, so anyways, chat, I started blasting. I just had notifications set for when Saffron Olive would put out a video and would just buy all the rares and sell them 6 hours later for a 300% profit. That's actually great. Well, that was something that was a real thing with the number of players I knew was a lot of people that played high-level paper Magic, they made more money on average at the Pro Tour causing cards to spike through speculation than they would on average from actually getting paid out from the events. So if a team thought they broke it, they weren't just planning on doing well at the tournament, they also bought out lots of copies of the cards in their deck list, so that way when they did perform well, if they did, they could resell them for, you know, some larger amount over it. Which is why I often talk about, you know, cryptocurrency goes hand in hand with a lot of what these old school Magic pros are into, because they basically played the Magic stock market pump and dump like people do with cryptocurrencies today. It's the same racket for them, but in a different form.
My power is for annihilation. A setback, nothing more. Hanger Backwalker. We made a few $100 on Hanger Backwalker because nobody believed that card was good when it came out, and we were confident it was cracked. We also didn't do that in secret. Like, we were playing Hanger Backwalker on stream with proxies before the set even released, telling people it was cracked. It just took the rest of the world a few weeks to catch up. Yeah, the old proxy testing streams were so much work. It took like 4 or 5 of us to put on those streams, and we'd spend like, gosh, I don't even know, probably an hour to an hour and a half before each of them printing and cutting and sleeving proxy decks. So much effort. This is going to be a very painful Bond game, chat. We are about to hurt for our cards. Taking at least 3 here. So I made content using proxy cards. For a long time, I refused to touch any digital Magic products because Moto's always been trash, chat. So to make Magic content, we had a full paper streaming rig set up. So we had a color laser printer. It was a lot of effort for an end product that was much worse than what Magic Arena provides. We made do, and it was fun. Like that was content wasn't my job back then. I was still working a 9 to 5 and like doing that in the evenings and playing on the weekends. Wait, what? This is their play for the turn? That's so good for us. What is in their hands? I'm so confused. They just like, are they gonna play a land? No. Is it like all tapped lands? Weird.
Yeah, it could just be a bunch of removal.
Darkness will swallow.
Well, Adult Gold Dragon would have been castable. They must not have any dragons, right? It must be lands and Doomblades. The Citystalker Connoisseur should be pretty good next turn. Get a good clean 2-for-1. Yeah, Cockatrice still exists.
Aren't I generous?
Chat, I use Cockatrice for the Hoaglandia opens. The card viewer that we have on stream when I pull up a card image on the stream
Minions are
is just a Cockatrice window captured. Painful Bond is very good. Very, very good. No, I definitely need to leave this back because ton of the Bugbear. Cockatrice caches all the images locally, so it's a little bit faster than Scryfall. Well, Cockatrice is from a bunch of different people, Logan. It's an open source project on GitHub. Not just one person managing that. That's really scary. Them having a double threat turn this turn is really bad for us.
Aw, you're looking a little singed.
We should play some dragons at some point. Our team seems pretty good still. Well, I can't really afford to be drawing more cards with Lolth anyways. So I think we just do this and then cash her in for 2/2/1s to pressure their Chandra.
A gift in exchange for loyalty.
Stop playing on Cockatrice when people didn't know how the rules worked. Yeah, that's why I stopped playing Paper
We
Magic.
should all follow our hearts.
I think we've died, fam. Definitely a little bit of wrong half problem here. Our deck is not well set up to answer these big chunky dragons in the air. When our Citystalker Connoisseur doesn't have meaningful board presence, it feels like the matchup's hard. Like the Anvil deck or these dragons. Well, I mean, I don't know that bolting there is correct. That's very possible these two should just be swamps as well. We haven't used either of these yet. And they're definitely not free in terms of the amount of life they cost us.
That's it. I'm done playing.
So the problem with trying to kill the dragon on their turn is if they play a basic land, I can't respond to that, and then I can no longer Hagra Mauling them. They debating if they want to fire up Den of the Bugbear or roll the orb. I guess they can roll the orb and then do Den still if they miss. But the orb's pretty likely to find them. Find them a banger. Is Dragons just red right? Well, Dragons isn't really an established archetype in this format, excellent. It's not something that's really been seen a ton of play. This opponent's playing red-white, but there's a lot of different splashes and directions you could go. Any hasty dragons pretty bad for us here. Okay, they don't currently have a land to cast that one, and Citystalker Connoisseur can take it out of their hand. Excuse me? Creatures attacking. Enchanted player of trample. When a creature deals combat damage to enchanted player, that player exits top cards in the library until your next turn. Okay, sure. I need to start killing them, right? Yeah, I need to start killing them.
No after party. I'm wiped out. Candle's gonna set your world on fire. Give a toast? I'd love to.
I don't think I can afford to lose to their life here, so I'm gonna discard this. Oh, for fuck's sake. Huh.
Wow, not even a gift bag.
I think that might do it. Well, we ran good for a little bit there. Alas, all good things must come to an end. Yeah, I mean, Purge is basically a free roll in their deck, right? Like, it's like, it hits like their Orb of Dragonkind, but otherwise doesn't touch anything else that they have. Nah, I need to close the game, Sassy Magikarp. We're just dead to their Den of the Bugbear, unfortunately. Yeah, it's not really relevant, Seagull. Poor Witchy Poo. Smoldering Egg has felt really aggressively mediocre.
not been super happy with that. I think if we cut the eggs, Inscription gets worse, and Eggdoms gets worse. I'm just gonna go up a Hive and a Basic, I think. The Lolths have been pretty reasonable in the games that we've boarded them in. Let's bring those in. Meathook main is probably fine, right? Are there any other cheat pieces of card advantage or threats? Things that Undercity Bond won't kill us with? I don't know that I really want to... Oh, Rahilda. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, that's a cheap... That's exactly what I asked for, right? Yeah, I like that suggestion. It also blocks okay, too. Alright, what do we want for the board? Probably put a third Lolth in there. Honestly, probably third Rahilda for those matchups, too. I think I want... That person was playing dragons. I probably want one more way to kill dragons in here, huh? Or maybe two. Brittle Blast. We could play Bloodthirsty Adversary. Someone else played that against us and it looked pretty good. We've got, what, like 16 really good hits for Bloodthirsty Adversary? I like that Rahilda's a little bit better against Agra, though. I'll try Rahilda. We've not played this one titled Red-Black Midrange here. It's a non-witch deck. We'll probably get to that sometime next week. This is going to be the last Magic deck we play today. I'm going to play Alchemy for another 45 minutes to an hour before we swap over to Unite. This is our third Alchemy deck we've played today. I don't think the ninja that creates virus beetles is very good. I think it's much worse than both Rahilda and the adversary. And this is another sweet digital 2-drop. We just have like, all of our 2s are just sweet digital 2-drops, which is great. How many sweet digital 2-drops? Yes, please. All of them. Bianu, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. Oh, wow. They just made no place. I'll have some spells, please. I think being more resource efficient here is better than... is better than getting all the value off of this. Oh gosh, they're the Anvil deck, so I'm glad we have some Abrades in our board. It's not the untapped land I wanted for Christmas. We start with Painful Bond, see what we get. Actually, never lucky. Thank you, Annie. Now, one downside to Rahilda in this build, and obviously she already drew one card, so it's not like too bad, but the fact that Rahilda is our only wolf means that like these other cards that she drew, we're not going to get to utilize really. I think unfortunately we just need to tap land here because bolting to then lose life to cast these seems a little risky. I mean, if we're cutting Witch, at that point we're a different deck forklift. Something like that is more similar to the red-black mid-range deck I have in my deck editor. I'm not saying that that's a bad idea, I'm just saying it's a different idea than what I'm going for here. Yeah, I don't see why not double poop. There's a lot of different directions I could go with it. I want to just do this. Notable here, they can sacrifice a blood token to make this a 3/3 to then trade with this. I think that that's okay for me. No, it's tough. It might have also just been right to like Citystalker Connoisseur this turn and take a card out of their hand while they still have them. That's an interesting line. We would have Molten Impacted their 1/1. We could have blasted their face to deal the extra 3 to their 3/3. And then we would have pressured them for 4. Yeah, maybe that was better. It's a sweet sequence to catch. Warlock class for extra drains in their archetype is interesting. I think I'm just rummaging away this extra meat hook. I don't think I need the extra sweeper. I also just want the static tech, so we already have one of those in play. They're going to be able to just keep rebuilding their stuff most of the time, I think.
Hey, Super SP, thanks for the brand new Prime. There's a ton of great people you can send that to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way this month and keeping me around. Okay, so let's Molten Impact this, and then we'll Electrostatic Blast this, killing this. We attack for 3, we pass. I don't want to cast this because I've got a delayed trigger from this waiting still. So I want to wait till I have mana to cast whatever we hit with this. Is it lethal with the den? So that's already happened. Yeah, we do, right? This already made a thing, so they're gonna go up to 6, then we attack for 7. Close. Solid back and forth. Definitely want these Abrades. Definitely want the Lolth, I think. Is this a Rahilda out matchup? We just kind of pull up. I guess if we kill their stuff, this drawing cards is good. Maybe it's a Rahilda in matchup, actually. So, like, have more threats to pressure as we go wide. What's the trim here? Do I want to be attacking their hand with Undercity Plunder? Maybe we don't. We just want cards to play to the board. I actually have 28 lands total if you count these as lands. Maybe we just got the Hagra Maulings. It's so much mana for a removal spell. We still have 26. We have 22 plus 4 smashings. Yeah, I think we cut Hagra. And then maybe we just trim some mix of these other ones. Molten Impact's only okay. I'm going to get rid of one of those and 2 plunders. Let's try this. Trim around the edges. Yeah, exactly. By the way, if anybody's playing in the open this weekend and you're not quite sure what to play, and you don't want to invest a ton of resources, this opponent's deck is very good in this format. I haven't played it with updates after the latest card drop, but it's super strong. We played a little bit of it before the most recent drop, and definitely a powerful contender. I'm gonna Molten Impact here. I want to set up these Painful Bonds. Well, obviously this 1/1 doesn't really matter. I want to use these Painful Bonds after I Citystalker Connoisseur, so this doesn't lose me life if possible. And I just want to use my mana this turn. We get to kind of save a little bit of the Molten Impact for later here too, so... They're playing the red-black Anvil Sacrifice deck, Hack Mage. Man, are we unlucky with these cards. Oh! I still had Molten Impact up there. I should have waited on Painful Bond, so I could have used Molten Impact to kill something this turn. That was loose on my part. Yeah, it's actually really huge here, because I could have used that Molten Impact trigger to kill this. It's a huge spew. Tournament starts at 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, actually, we just like completely clean them out. Super unfortunate. By unfortunate, I mean I should be better. Take 3 extra damage and they still have this here.
I will show you what happens when the spy... Aren't I the generous one?
This hand needs a 3rd land, but it's has plenty of playable cards even if we get stuck on 2. Taking Plunder versus my other things is interesting. I'm gonna chill on that for a turn, I think.
I went with a place called McAllister's for lunch. I got a potato smothered in cheese and vegetables. Yep. Someone else mentioned Painful Bond looked good in their deck. Definitely agree. So I'm chilling on casting a spell for the short term because my next instant or sorcery gets to deal 3 to a creature or planeswalker because of Molten Impact. We messed this up last game. We remembered this time through. I think I need to kill this. I don't think I can just take these hits. Definitely gonna use this other Abrade on the anvil. I think I just chill for now. I think I want to use these as spells. I'm gonna run to the restroom really quick while they take their turn. I got 2 timeouts. I think we're probably electrostatic blasting one of these dorks. Another anvil's really good for them. We've had multiple anvils every game. It's been a little rough for us. Oh yeah, we really don't want to play this one out. We already have one. Good call. Feels Magic the Gathering, man.
The old, like, 7 lands in a row while your opponent has multiple copies of their best card in their top whatever. Yeah, we're actually just straight out at this point. It's unfortunate. Seems like a tough matchup. I definitely messed up the second game, though. If I would have remembering the triggers on your digital spells is going to be a big thing. If I would have remember I had that delayed deal 3 with my sequencing, I think we probably win that second game there. So that one's definitely on me. Let's get one more match in with this one, and we'll swap over and unite some Pokemon for the last leg of the stream. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Remember, if you're interested in watching more Alchemy stuff tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon, depending on where you are, 9 Pacific, there will be a Alchemy tournament here on this channel. I'll be casting with Jim Davis to start. Amy the Amazonian will be joining us later on to bring you coverage all day. Is a set championship qualifier for New Capenna as well. So if you are interested in trying to qualify for that and you want to try your hand at some Alchemy, there's still time to sign up for that. Sign-ups close about a half hour before the tournament starts, I believe. All the relevant information is there on the Melee page, of course. Yeah, you definitely spend a little bit of extra mental energy trying to track the delayed triggers on the blast and the trample spell. Definitely an extra thing that you gotta make sure is happening when you want it to happen. Molten Impact and Blast. Put this one out on black. Now I'll do this on red, huh? This is untap black for next turn if we need it. We have that delayed Molten Impact trigger here for later. Yeah, looks like a rematch for us here. Last one was close. I messed up the second game. Hey, sounds good, Avian. I'm starting game 1 of my last Magic match now. Honestly, I think I'm in for all the bonds, regardless of how painful they may be. Want to try and get down this Lolth before I cast too many of them, though. If they put something into play that we can kill with a deal 2, I'm going to fire off this Painful Bond. It doesn't look like they are, though, so I'm just going to go ahead and pass back to our turn, because not only does this not spew this, but this also gives me a window to get Lolth down before she hurts me for more. Baby, don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. If they have a Meathook Massacre here, it's pretty bad for us. Yeah, yikes. We get to hook, kill my spiders, sack a blood token. The statuette has looked really impressive in their deck every time they've had it in play. Definitely seems like a powerful inclusion. That is not one that we had played last time we played this deck.
My power is for annihilation. You win this round, but I'll be waiting.
Yeah, I agree. Painful Bond is a phenomenal card design. Just from the perspective of, like, the choices it asks the player to be making. And remember, the Abandoned Mine here can pick Planeswalkers back up out of our graveyard here too, so that Lolth is down, but maybe not out forever. They board this out against aggro. Maybe? I don't know. Like, it's like a incidental 3/3, right? So get to Painful Bond, kill their Harvester. I'll do it again, I swear. Okay, so I'm going to... When you have a card that makes your opponent make a decision, you want them to make that decision with as minimal information as possible. So I want to Undercity Plunder, so they have to decide, do they want to discard an extra card or not, before we show them that Citystalker Connoisseur is going to be happening to them. Well. And they just binned Meathook, so it was either their most expensive card or tied for it. So they have a 1, 2, or 0 mana cost spell as their last one. They get to crack us for a bunch here. Because they could use this blood here too, crack us for 7. Yep. And this is putting me to 9. This is putting me to 8. Thanks. After 3 on this is brutal. Oh. Then I lose that, then I lose 2 more. Yeah, yikes. Okay, so let's do this. And let's do this. Yo, dog, I heard you like shock, so I got you a shock that draws shocks after you shock. Oh, Rahilda making these cheaper is a thing too, huh? We're actually just like dead Dexter to the dead of the Bugbear, right? Because of the Warlock class? Yeah, there were actually a number of... When we played this archetype last, there were a number of people that were splashing white. And it definitely feels like not being able to... Like, we have Abrade for some of their artifacts, but not being able to take an enchantment off the table is definitely a little bit of a big deal in this matchup, it feels like. It's definitely been a pain point, especially with the Warlock class. Warlock class is some really sweet technology from this opponent. I haven't seen that in their deck before. The exclamation point is after tomorrow to express excitement. So next open is the command for the event tomorrow, Hyper. I think, again, because life total is at a premium in this matchup, we want to wait to be painful bonding until after we play the Citystalker Connoisseur. Another consideration for our deck, and this is something I think the mid-range build we might play next week is going to do, is playing something that can provide consistent life gain would go a long way in a matchup like this. So there's a chance, for example, that doing something like Sorin in the 4-mana slot could have value. That stresses with Painful Bond a little bit, though. They kind of overlap that. Okay, so now I gotta decide. Do I want a Citystalker Connoisseur and then, like, Harvester their Harvester? Or do I want to, like, Painful Bond, except that I'm gonna lose one from this, and then Electrostatic Blast this so I can keep pressuring them? I think I'm more likely to be winning this matchup when I'm the beatdown, so I think I want to just take a life here. And I'm sequencing in the way that I did here, because if I do Painful Bond after Electrostatic Blast, that Static Blast text will get wasted. I think Sorin is probably the card you want to play, Kyle. He can make 2/2/3 lifelinkers. It also like generates card advantage. Like, for example, I have a third Lolth in the sideboard of this deck. Like, having some number of Sorin instead of extra Lolth in the sideboard would probably go a long way. I can see. We played Vampires in Alchemy before the most recent card drop. Revisiting Vampires with, like, Painful Bond and the new 2-mana discard spell could probably be worthwhile as well. A lot of different red-black variations you can play, and that's even before you get into, like, the Grixis Splash, like Jim Davis and his squad played at the Mythic Championship that he performed well with. Us having a Meathook and them not should go a long way too here. Yo, dog, I heard you like Painful Bonds. We're gonna Painful Bond into more Painful Bonds. Sedge. Oh, shit. I did it again, chat. It happened so long ago, and we were talking about so many other things. The Electrostatic Blast trigger. I even played around it the first turn we did it. Damn it, Bobby. There is a visual tracker. If you look, there's one over here on the left side of the screen. It's just so easy to forget about it when you're bouncing around doing a bunch of other stuff. So... The client does have an indicator. I'm just not very bright. I'll point it out next time, but it's over here on the left side of the screen by the land.
Look at me! I'm the Anvil deck. This is easily my pick for best card in this most recent card drop. Easy pick. Yeah, not close. Agreed. The ceiling is high and the floor is similarly high. Like two mana, draw a random card out of your opponent's deck is pretty good. Yeah. The only other one that's actually close is the other two mana black spell. Agree with that assessment. If there's another one that's close, it's the other black spell.
Do what I demand.
One of the things that I think has actually been really cool about their digital designs is the digital designs are actually making playable Punisher mechanics for the first time in a long time, right? Like for a long time, it was pretty accepted that just like Punisher cards in Magic just aren't playable. And like now we have Town Razor Tyrant, and Plunder, in a way, is a Punisher mechanic, right? It's another one of those your opponent gets to make a decision type cards. And it really feels like they've hit a sweet spot with the digital space with making these your opponent also gets to make choices cards be playable. It's really fantastic. I think I want to just guarantee my land drops here. We'll bottom earth through it. Wow, lucky. Casting this on 2 is so incredibly greedy, chat. So incredibly greedy. The odds of it just doing nothing are so high. Yes, yeah, Inquisitor Captain being deck building restriction, I think is also a great design space. I agree with that. So if we draw untapped land, we'll Undercity Plunder and then can Painful Bond on their turn. If we don't draw untapped land, I'm gonna start with Painful Bond to try and draw one so we can do both this turn. Perfect. Hey, Time Taco, thanks for the brand new Prime sub. There's a ton of wonderful people making a lot of great stuff here on Twitch every single month. Thanks for sending that this way and keeping me around. So the problem with synthesizing this turn is that there's a good chance I hit something that means I don't want to cast Abrade. And I think it's pretty important that I Abrade the Oni Cult Anvil this turn, so I'm gonna chill on the synthesizer for now. Just like play a tapped land, have another Abrade up here. This card is such an incredible amount of inevitability. We just, like, can't win from here, right? Like, every one of these blood tokens drains me for 2. Like, I don't know what a route to victory from this position looks like. I mean, like, even enchantment removals, like, not great in these spots, right? Like, sure, it means you're, like, it means you're not, like, just dead, but it's also, like, imagine 2 of these cards in my hand are pieces of enchantment removal, right? Just, like, replace them. Now, I take these off the board, but I'm down to 1 card then at that point. It's like, it does so much. I guess you could play, like, explicitly Ray of Oblivion. But yeah, I think you definitely, someone was asking earlier, what's the meta game gonna look like for the Alchemy event tomorrow? While I think we're gonna have a lot of people playing a lot of different decks, I think this is definitely a deck you want to have a plan for. Know how you're gonna be sideboarding, know what your matchup looks like. Yeah, I mean, like, there's the Anvil, right? And the Anvil makes it so every one of these blood tokens isn't even just 2, now it's 3 plus make a 1/1. And then the Warlock class pops in 2. Yeah, that's a great comparison on Realme. It's very similar to Azeka's Chariot, right? We're like, yeah, you could shatter the Chariot, but it already generated a lot of incidental value. Yeah. Overall, this red-black deck was, let's say, neat. But I don't think this particular shell with Witch is going to be one that I work on more. It definitely, if we do want to do something similar to this, I think, you know, Ray of Oblivion, some kind of splash to be able to interact with more permanent types of what I would try. But honestly, you know, talking through that again, it's not even profitable to really be interacting with that card a lot of the time. I'm not even sure that's really where you want to be. And I think if the Anvil deck is something you're expecting, this probably isn't something you really want to be doing in the format. These 2 cards in particular, Painful Bond and Undercity Plunder, continue to impress me. Finding a deck that feels good where these are playable in is probably going to be a good place to be. And honestly, maybe you just slot these into the Anvil deck. Like, that last Anvil opponent was playing Painful Bond. Their deck's very low curve to begin with, so this card has a lot of value in that perspective. Yeah, the Anvil deck gets made big sad by the bigger white mid-range and control decks with Farewell, right? Like, Farewell is basically delete target Anvil player, because it just, like, gets everything other than Planeswalkers, which is their entire strategy. So, everybody gets got by something, right? You gotta try and figure out what you're willing to be got by or not. All right.